I wanted to talk today about how psychology can breed compassion. Compassion is a huge aspect of Buddhism. Fostering compassion, loving kindness, these are all aspects of Buddhism, and I believe psychology can help with that. One of the ways that I think this can happen, for example, is research. And in a lot of the research, people behave in ways we wouldn't expect. And we often think we wouldn't expect to. And one of the aspects I try to get across to my students is we're really bad at predicting how we would behave in a situation until we're actually in the situation. And then often we're surprised at how we behave. So for example, in the Milgram obedience study, 60% of the subjects continued to shock a person. They weren't really shocking a person, but they continued to think they were shocking a person and act in a way where they were shocking the person, despite the fact the person had stopped responding. And most people don't think you'll do that, but in experiments, people do. People conform in experiments when they don't think they're a person that conforms. The Stanford prison study, where a bunch of students were randomly assigned to be guards or prisoners, the guards became almost abusive or maybe downright abusive, but they didn't expect that they would behave that way. When we look at these experiments, we're able to look at ourselves, and then, like I've talked about a bunch of times in these videos, we're able to create doubt about how we think we would behave if we were actually in the situation, and thereby we can apply that to other people. Instead of judging them negatively, we can accept that we might have behaved that way also, we just don't know. Another aspect that I put in my last post is in a couple of podcasts, and then actually in an article I followed up and looked up, they talked about how our political affiliation is partially genetic, like how brain structure and the way our brains function, which is generally considered genetic, affect our political leanings. Well, we tend to think of these things as free will and educated choices and so forth, but we might be very unaware of the underlying factors that are contributing to them. As such, if we can apply that to ourselves, we can have more self-compassion. If we can apply it to others, we can have more compassion for them. Also, as you go through life and have experiences, you start to understand that when I was younger, I didn't think I would do this at this age, or when I had kids, or whatever you might think, and then I find myself doing it. So experience in our lives can also lead to more compassion. So that's the point of this video, is that perhaps by reading a little more psychology, we can thereby foster compassion for others. So by understanding ourselves better, by understanding psychology better, we can have more compassion for other people.